Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I'm the Town of Merrimack's Media Services Coordinator. I'm also a proud member of the Merrimack Town Center Committee. Despite the less than ideal weather, it's great to see so many friends and familiar faces smiling today. So, round of applause for yourselves. Thanks so much for coming out. This project has been a long time coming for sure. Many of us know that the adjacent property was donated in 2005 by Harold and Barbara Watson. Barbara Watson has joined us today, so a round of applause for Barbara for making it out. Thank you. And if you go further into Merrimack's history, in particular this plot of land, there was a lot of innovation that took place in this area of Merrimack. And I'd like to think that the construction of the Souhegan River Trail pays homage to the innovation that took place here. And now it's been repurposed to serve as a recreational area for Merrimack residents and visitors alike to use and share for many years to come. With that said, we're going to have a few special guests this morning. We're also going to open up the microphone to anyone else who would like to speak after those special guests. But first, I'd like to welcome from the Merrimack Town Council, Mr. Finley Rothaus.
Good morning, and thank you for being here. This is a wonderful day for Merrimack. And what's intriguing about it is the vision that began so many years ago has gone from a goal to being a reality. And of course, not many people have yet had the opportunity to walk the trail, but it's an amazing piece of work that we've had. I'm just going to touch quickly on the history to a degree on what's gone on around here. The Souhegan River Trail project started back in 2009. It was part of an ITRAC report that came up with trail and sidewalk plans for the center of town. The town applied for a Transportation Alternative Program grant to help fund this. And the project gradually grew and had many things that had to get accomplished before this could become a reality. It'll allow access from Watson Park by going under the Masonry Arch Bridge of the Chamberlain Bridge right here, that crosses under Route 3 and goes through the sluiceway and a headgate structure of the former Merrimack Village Dam. And it will connect to the existing trails at Wildcat Falls. Over the past 15 years, the project has run into a few obstacles. There were required historical studies that had to be undertaken. There's tanning pits over on the side that have been maintained for the history. There's interpretive plaques in 3 locations, one recognizing the dam, the one recognizing the industry, and then also the canal works. But some of the problems that they encountered, some big ones, were a beam that actually held up the cantilevered sidewalk, which had to be repaired, that became part of this project as it grew from 2009. And that had to be taken care of. And then the crossing of the bog, it went from a small bridge crossing to what you'll see when you head over there shortly. There were many permits required, DES, and a lot of cultural things that had to be dealt with at the same time. They're people that we want to thank. I think Nelson Disco has been at the forefront of pursuing this project, starting with the ITRAC report, and he has been part of the Town Center Committee, I think, since its inception. But we want to thank R&M Piper, John, Pat, and Chris from Piper Construction, who's performed this task. Beta, as Dave and John is with Beta, and Quantum Construction Consultants, or Jim and Anna, are with us. I'd really like to especially thank Don Tuamala and Leo Levelette for all their work and continuing to get this project, keeping it on track. And I'm hoping that people will enjoy this trail for many years to come and the connections that it will make for our future. Thank you.
Thanks, Finley. Next is a man who needs no introduction, Mr. Nelson Disco.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Nick. And thank you, everybody, for coming here today. This is a great day for some of us who've worked on this project since 2009. And this is a culmination of a lot of people coming together and doing a lot of work for the town of Merrimack. I want to especially note the original town council, which undertook the eye-track study that Finley just referred to, and that study led to the formation of the town center committee. NRPC did the eye-track study for the town, and they should be recognized, as well as the New Hampshire DOT, which was instrumental in helping us get the TAP grant, which funded this thing to begin with. The early council members, Tom McCann, Nancy Harrington, Tim Tenave, who isn't here, but anyway, the early council supported this. An early supporter was the Pennachuck Waterworks. The Pennachuck Waterworks was the owner of the dam that was here before. And the dam had to be removed for all of this to happen. And they donated the land on which the dam stood. And they were instrumental in getting things started here. We had the continuing support from the Merrimack Rotary Club and from the Patterson family. The Patterson family owned a piece of land in between, which they donated to the town, which helped all of this come together. The early members of the town center committee included Peter Flood, who is not here today, but he was instrumental in getting things going. Deborah Hoffman, Matt Chevenel, and the Merrimack School District was cooperative in allowing us to continue this trail through their property. And Andy Powell of the Merrimack Conservation Commission, and of course Nick LaValle and the media group, Bill Wilkes and the Merrimack Rotary Club. The Merrimack Historical Society joined hands with us at midstream and helped promote this, and they have been very instrumental in preserving the remnants of the stone arch bridge, the Chamberlain Bridge, which you'll go under through what we go through here on the trail is a sluiceway which fed water to the mills, which were on this side of the dam, and the mills from up above, the water from up above, came through that pathway that you're going to walk on in a few minutes. The Souhegan River Local Advisory Committee was supportive from the beginning. The Merrimack Fire Department, all of the chiefs of fire chiefs that have been with us have helped us in cooperating and making it happen, in using their property and enhancing their access to the river as well. Steve Keach, I want to mention, from the Keach Nordstrom Company, did some early surveys for us, and they did them on their own nickel, which helped advance the construction. We finally come to the construction, which was started in November of this past year. The R.M. Piper Company, John Bosquet, Christopher Holland, Patrick Kersey. The design engineers were Jim Bouchard of Quantum Engineering Consultants and Anna Giraldi. And the construction engineers was John Byatt of the Beta Group and David Stukinski, day-to-day supervision. So those are some of the people that have helped. A lot of people in Merrimack helped make this happen. Especially I want to thank the town council for their continued support. And so thank you all. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Nelson. I spoke to a few people earlier this morning that I'd like to speak. So first I'd like to welcome Eileen Laverme from the Mike Laverme Foundation.
Well, I want to thank Nick for allowing us to speak today and to thank everybody for coming. My husband and I moved to Merrimack in 1996, and we've grown to love this town. And we're so thankful for all the people that work on behalf of this area and making things like this come to pass. My 3 boys grew up here, and they loved this town. They especially loved going to Wildcat Falls. 2 of my sons ran track at Merrimack High School. And I'm speaking to you today on behalf of the Michael Liver Memorial Foundation. Unfortunately, my youngest son passed away in 2012. But we have a small service organization that we focus primarily in Merrimack, New Hampshire, but we've worked with Wildcat Falls many times, and we're just delighted to see that now we have the access from here and this wonderful park and so many people preserving these wonderful places in Merrimack. So thank you, Nick, and we're just delighted to be here and looking forward to walking on this new trail.
Thanks, Eileen. I'd like to welcome John Listoka from the Merrimack Historical Society.
Thank you, Nick. There we go. I asked Nick if I could speak on behalf of the Historical Society because this is really important for our town. There's a lot of deep history. My family's been here since 1910. And my dad and my uncle actually worked in the tanneries here on the Souhegan River, south of the dam. And we asked if we could videotape and document this whole project. And it started here in November. We went up in front of the town center committee. The town gave us permission, the town council, to actually videotape. And I have to tell you, we really got involved. It's, you know, your history is so important. I didn't know as much about history as I do now. It's especially the town of Merrimack. It's just full of rich history. And where we're standing right now, we'd be standing in the Tom McCann shoe factory that started here in Merrimack. And they produced over 1 million boots for World War I, one of the major producers, right out of Merrimack, and they tan the hides in these tanning pits right over my shoulder. So we are going to do about a 1-hour documentary on this project, but it starts back in the 1600s, and we talk a little bit about the granite industry. And I reached out to the Milford Historical Society and said, do you know if this granite came from your town? Milford was the granite town of New Hampshire, probably even New England. They have dozens of quarries up there. They came back to me and they said, yes, this bridge was built by Lovejoy Quarry in 1921. And it's pretty much a replica of the bridge that's in Milford that was built in 1919. And they told me we have all the glass slide negatives. So we went up and we got those glass slide negatives of how that bridge was put together. And this is a sister bridge to the one in Milford. So when you go over the Souhegan River in North Milford into Wilton on Wilton's Main Street, you travel over that stone arch bridge. And just like this one, you go over it, you don't know it's a stone arch bridge. So it doesn't get any recognition until events like this happen. So that's going to be part of this documentary. And Merrimack is full of rich, rich history. And we hope to bring that history to you through our documentaries and tidbits and our programming. We're open to the public for a program once a month. So with that, I want to thank Nelson for all his hard work. I'm on the phone with Nelson quite a bit to see what's going on next. But the contractors that built this bridge are real professionals. we get pretty close with them too, and they went out of the way to do this fine job. So thank you all. Yep.
Okay. I'd like to welcome on behalf of the Merrimack Rotary Club, Wolfram von Schoen. Thanks, Wolf. Almost got it. Almost got it.
That was pretty good, actually. So I'll be really brief. I'm the current president of the Merrimack Rotary Club, and we have been talking for a while since this project came to an end about a way to contribute to the project. And there's a couple of ideas out there, extending, maybe the walkway to the parking lot and making it maybe, in some areas a little bit more ADA compliant, maybe some benches for people to rest on. So I just wanted to make that known, and I think people do know about that already, but I also want to make it known that we're open for ideas, right? The Merrimack Rotary Club is a community club, so we are having ideas, but that doesn't mean that somebody else doesn't have a better idea. So keep coming. Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak? From the Town Council, Nancy Harrington.
My councilors are surprised I'm here because I hate to talk. But I did want to say a couple of things that have not been said previously. First of all, I moved into this town in 1972. I know I don't look that old. But when I did, the Tom McCann factory was here. It was lime green. Anybody going like this remember? It was an eyesore. But it was. But the rest of the Merrimack was beautiful. So I just want to make sure that you have a perspective of what this site used to look like and how far we've come. I also want to make a point of including Tom Koenig. He was part of the original decision to pursue the grants to be able to start this whole process going. I also want to make special attention to Barbara and Harold, who were pivotal in acquiring this property to be able to start the ball rolling in all of this. Without that, none of this would have happened. I think bottom line is, even with the ever-increasing complexities that happened, I just spoke to someone who said, we went forward and back. She says, yeah, 3 steps forward, no, 2 steps back. Okay, we got that. Between all the things that changed in terms of the demands, and in the meantime, the money as well, because that continues. The big thing is resilience. We actually did it in spite of all the complexities and roadblocks, which I think is very symbolic of where we all have to be. This is cooperation between local, state, and federal. And this is what can happen when we all have the same vision and the same goal. So I want to be able to highlight that. In these times, this is what we need. We need to be resilient. We need to cooperate with each other. We all need to have the same vision. And this is what the result is right here. So thank you.
Okay, if there's no one else, before we move to the actual ribbon cutting portion of the ceremony, one final big thing. Oh, we have one more from the Souhegan River. From the Souhegan River Watershed Association. I think I got that.
Got it right.
Yes, go for it.
Hi, I'm George May, Souhegan River Watershed Association. It's been around for a long time, and we've been trying to just essentially educate people about the value of the Souhegan River. And I think we've done that. We've been doing a lot of water testing along the river, publicizing the results and letting people know exactly what's going on, trying to get boaters out on the river. And today, this is an amazing event that is happening here today. Probably all the towns along the river, and that runs out to New Ipswich, the 6 towns that run out to New Ipswich, are all looking at trails. And this is the perfect example for them. This shows what can be done. One other thing that I would like to mention here is that there's a pedestrian bridge across the river. As you go along there, you see that it's closed now. It's rotted out. It needs to be replaced. that would open up all of the people from the south side of the river, especially the kids that live on that side, that can walk to school, cross that bridge, come right out around, and come out onto the school property. And I'd like to give credit to the school kids, because it's really always the kids that find the trails for us. And that's where I first found them. And it was you were talking about the cross-country team, would go up under the Everett Turnpike Bridge, along sandy path, and certainly not a acceptable place to be, and get up into Wildcat Falls and do their training up there, and then back to the school. And then that has moved on downstream, and Nelson, with the town center committee, probably started looking at the sidewalks that needed to be replaced, and then said, we can do more and better than that. So this has been an amazing sort of thing. And if we replace that bridge up there, I'd say one other place that needs some work that could be done, and that would be at Severn's Bridge, the boat access at Severn's Bridge. People really can't get in there right now. That's something that, although I'm getting too old to be involved in this any longer, that's something that needs to be done here in the future to improve that access. So there's a lot more to do with the Souhegan River, but this is a great place to start. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Two very important thank yous. First off, the New Hampshire Department of Transportation for all of their hard work. And maybe the biggest thank you to the Merrimack Town Council for all of their financial support. Otherwise, this project may not have happened. So thank you to the Merrimack Town Council. And one last note before we move to the ribbon cutting ceremony. Tomorrow will be sunny and 75 degrees all day. So you may want to come back and walk the trail from here to Wildcat Falls and back. Thank you so much for being here on behalf of the town manager's office, Paul McCallie. Thank you so much for being here today, and let's move to the ribbon cutting ceremony. Thank you so much.
I think we're ready now. You only get one shot at this.
You waited long enough.
All set?